If you're like most people, you've probably heard of traditional investment options like mutual funds as well as fixed deposits. The problem with those is that you either need a lot of capital to get started with these investments, or they have high management fees as well as a long lockup period, which I personally don't really like. I like to keep my investments flexible as well as the investment costs really low. So in today's video, I want to show you guys a product that meets all of these criteria, and that product is called Versa. If you haven't heard about Versa before, Versa is basically a digital wealth management app here in Malaysia, and they make saving and investing really easy with their partnership with Aham Asset Management Berhad, one of Malaysia's top 3 independent asset management firms. Not only that, Versa is also regulated and licensed by the Securities Commission Malaysia, so you know your money is in safe hands. Before I start talking about Versa, if you haven't signed up to Versa already, make sure to sign up using my promo code VERSAROTI or by clicking the link in the description to sign up. If you use my code to sign up, you guys will get 10 ringgit if you deposit a minimum of 100 ringgit into any Versa funds, and that is an instant 10% return on your money. And if you guys want to take this a step further, you guys can actually deposit 1,000 ringgit or more into any of these funds and earn an additional 3% returns on top of the returns you're already going to be making from these funds. This promotion is part of Versa's welcome quest for new users and is only available till 31st May. So yeah, make sure to sign up to Versa using my link and code to get all of these bonuses. I'll leave this link and code in the description down below so that you guys can sign up to Versa. Now, one of my biggest reasons why I love using Versa is because of their money market fund product called Versa Save. For those of you who are watching and don't know what a money market fund is, a money market fund is basically a low-risk investment fund that puts your money into short-term investments like government bonds as well as other fixed income assets. It's basically one of the safest way of investing your money, but it also gives you a really low return, about 3.8% per year, which is honestly not too bad considering it being a low-risk investment fund anyway. Money market funds are also extremely liquid, meaning you can withdraw these funds at any time with no lockup period, and you get to keep the interest that you've earned so far because these interests are paid almost daily. If you're someone who is currently saving money to make a big purchase in the future like a house or a car, or maybe if you're saving money to go vacation with your family, or maybe saving money for your emergency fund, then you should consider saving your money in a place that is always generating you high interest, like a money market fund. The worst thing that you can do with your money is basically leaving your money in your savings account, aka the bank, which is only paying you 0.05% in interest per year. What's worse is that there are even some people today who are still leaving money underneath their bed and earning 0% interest. This is damn bad because your value of your money is always going down every single year. I remember 15 years ago when I used to follow my mom to buy groceries in Giant or Tesco, I remember 50 ringgit alone gets her a trolley full of groceries. Fast forward to today, 2025, 50 ringgit only gets you a handful of groceries from 99 Speedmart. And that, my friend, is what is known as inflation. So to protect the value of your money, you should always put every single ringgit that you make into a proper place. And I treat every single ringgit that I make like little soldiers going out and fighting the battle of inflation. That is how I treat my hard-earned money. This is why I love Versa Cash. I treat it like my savings account, except that this savings account gives me a pretty high interest, and this interest is paid to me almost daily. And it's not like fixed deposits where I have to wait 12 or 24 months in order for me to withdraw back these funds. Versa Cash allows me to withdraw these funds back into my bank account within just 1 working day, while keeping the interest that I've earned so far. I'm actually saving money to buy a house later this year, and most of my money that I'm saving right now is being saved in Versa Cash because of the nice chunky interest. So while I look for the right opportunity to buy my house, Versa Cash is constantly giving me returns on my savings. And when I'm ready to pull the trigger and buy my house, I can actually withdraw these funds out from Versa Cash to my bank account within just 1 working day, which is damn cool. And what I also love about Versa Cash is that they also have one that is Shariah compliant called Versa Cash I. Basically, any funds that you see that has an I behind is basically Shariah compliant funds, except for Versa Gold. Versa Gold is also Shariah compliant. This is perfect for all of my Muslim friends watching. If you're someone who is particular in investing in only Shariah compliant assets, Versa has done a really good good job with giving you the flexibility to do so. Versa Cash I, which is the Sharia compliant money market fund, however, pays a slightly lesser return to the normal Versa Cash. The difference is not so much lah, but at least you get a peace of mind when you're investing in Sharia compliant funds. Alright, so that is Versa Cash, which is the money market fund side of Versa. Now I want to talk about Versa Invest, which is the investing side of Versa. Now, if you're someone who is new to investing or don't have the time to manage and monitor your investments, then I would highly recommend you guys to take a look at Versa Invest. In Versa Invest, there are a whole lot of different funds for you to choose to invest in, and I think there are more than 10 different funds for you to choose from. And all of these funds are composed of many different things, and all of these funds are managed by Aham Asset Management Berhad. And out of all of these funds, my top 3 favorite funds to invest in are Versa Growth, Versa US Tech, and also Versa Gold. For example, if you were to invest in the Versa Growth Fund, what you're essentially investing in are basically the equities in the US and also the S&P 500. What this fund aims to do is basically allow you to take part in the overall growth of the US stock market. If you look here under Versa Growth Fund, you can see the overall performance of this fund. This fund has been netting on average about 4.31% per year for the last 3 years. And year to date, it's currently down about 3.52%. As you know, the market hasn't been doing well lately. This is mainly due to President Trump and his never-ending policies regarding tariffs, which is causing market to go down by quite a bit. Since its all-time high of the stock market, the market has been down about 20%. The first thing that you should be doing whenever the market is down so much is never selling your investments. Instead of looking at the market crash as a bad thing and panic selling all of your investments, what you should be doing is taking this as an opportunity to start investing more. If before this you were investing 500 ringgit a month when the market was normal, maybe you can double your investments now since the market is now cheaper at a discount. Because the truth is, crashes in the market are usually a temporary thing and we don't know how long they last. But the stock market always goes up in the long run. If you scroll down further, you can see where your funds are being allocated when you invest in these funds. You can see 10.5% of it is allocated under Nikko Asset Management Fund, 10.1% under iShares S&P 500 ETF, and so on and so forth. If you tap on one of these funds, you can also see what type of funds are in them. Let's say under this iShares Core S&P 500 fund, for example, the top 5 funds are Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, and Meta. Basically, all these funds are very well diversified and are composed of a variety of equities. Another thing to note is that this fund has a management fee of 1.5% per year, which I think is okay lah, considering this is the only fee that you're going to be paying when you invest in this fund. This fund, however, is not Sharia compliant, but to all my Muslim friends who want to invest in a fund similar like this one, you can invest in Versa Growth I. That one is Sharia compliant. The next fund I want to talk about is the Versa US Tech Fund. This is a relatively new fund offered by Versa, which feeds into the JP Morgan US Technology Fund. This fund mainly invests in tech sectors, so if you're someone who is bullish on AI, cloud computing, or even EV, then this fund is perfect for you. Since this fund only invests in tech sectors, this fund is very volatile and be considered high risk. But with high risk, you can also make huge gains if your bet for AI, cloud computing, and even EV for the future are right. As you can see year to date, this fund is already up 7.32%. And since this is a relatively new fund, there isn't much historical performance on it. This fund also has a management fee of 1.8% per year, slightly higher than the Versa Growth Fund, mainly due to it being a high-risk fund as well as its thematic nature. Anyways, if you scroll down, you can actually tap on these funds and see their top holdings, which are Meta, Tesla, Netflix, Oracle, and Broadcom. As you can see, all of these are basically tech-driven stocks. The final fund that I want to talk about in Versa Invest is the Versa Gold Fund. As the name implies, this fund's main objective is basically to invest in gold. As you know, recently the price of gold has been going through the roof, with price of gold going more than 400 ringgit per gram. I'm actually getting quite worried wearing my gold bracelets out in public nowadays because gold prices are getting really expensive. Please don't chop off my wrist, guys. Anyways, this fund is currently up 16% year to date and has a 1-year return of 27%, which is honestly damn good lah. Not to mention that this fund is completely Sharia compliant. Even the management fee for investing in this fund is super low at 0.3% per year. If you're someone who wants to invest in gold but don't want the hassle of physically owning and storing your gold, then you can actually consider to invest in gold through Versa Gold. It's basically the same thing as owning gold. Highly recommend it if you want to diversify your investments into commodities such as gold. So those are my top 3 funds to invest in Versa. I also want to add a disclaimer that any returns that you see on Versa are based on past historical data and you are not guaranteed to make the same returns in the future. When you invest in these funds, it's as though as you invest in any equities in the market. It can go up, it can go down. Just remember that there are risks when it comes to investing. So make sure you stay invested in the market, make sure you are disciplined and consistent with your investment, invest regularly so you take part in the overall growth of the stock market. Like I said, in the short term, the market is always uncertain, but in the long term, the market always goes up. So if you want to see result, make sure you invest for the long term. Alright guys, so that is Versa. If you want to sign up to Versa, you can support my channel by using the promo code VersaRoti or by clicking the link in the description down below. By using my link and code, you guys will receive 10 ringgit if you deposit a minimum of 100 ringgit into any Versa funds. Versa also has something called Versa Quest, whereby if you complete their quest, you can actually earn returns up to 9% on Versa. For a limited time, Versa is offering new users an additional 3% returns if they deposit a minimum of 1000 ringgit or more into any Versa funds. This is the new welcome quest offered by Versa, and this promotion ends on 31st May. So make sure to sign up to Versa before that. Links and codes are in the description down below. Thank you guys for always supporting my channel. I really love you guys. As usual, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao, peace.